Guys, welcome back to this edition of What the Andra, which is brought to you by the Pecino Report podcast. So this week I had an awesome chat with a firecracker of a girl called Bella from Italy. She proclaims herself to be a Viking, a carnivore. She's an artist and she has ridden quite a few Ducatis. She talks to us about her first love, her first bike. We'll share a photo of that. And through our conversation, her free spirit and adventure just comes out. So at the moment, while we're in isolation, she is like an eagle in a cage ready to be set free. Guys, sit back and get yourself ready for our conversation with Bella. First of all, Bella, how do you pronounce your last name?
Oh man, that's a tricky one.
Is it?
It's actually Litinetsky.
Okay, so
Yeah.
You're living in Italy, but you haven't always lived there, I believe?
No, I moved here about 9 years ago now from Israel.
Oh, wow. So that's where you grew up?
Yeah.
Was going to try and pronounce your surname, but I didn't want to offend you by completely making a mess of it.
That's okay. I even get the spelling wrong sometimes myself, so it's it's really just,
Bella
I'm used to
Lit.
that. Lit, yeah.
Is that why I was going to say you shortened
Exactly.
that?
Yeah.
So I guess to start off with, for our listeners out there, we could talk for hours about your story, but I guess, because the theme of the podcast is MotoGP, motorbikes.
Yeah.
What is your story? And you're obviously a passionate rider. How many bikes do you have?
Oh man, I have, I will only count mine and not ours because my husband rides as well. So we have a double everything. So I have the GSXR for the track and I have the VSTROM 650 for the road and touring and whatever. Also, we have an SV 650, which was his bike, then my bike, then his bike. It's a disputed and long story.
A family bike. Yes.
Yeah. It's the do-all, run-all bike. And generally we get around on scooters, but I'm not counting them as bikes.
Yeah.
I also have potentially a Royal Enfield, but it's stowed away somewhere in Austria, and I'm not sure when I will see it again. So that's
That sounds interesting. So I guess first, what got you into motorbikes? When did you start? Where did this all come from?
I started, I think it's a common story to many people. I started riding scooters when I was 16, between 16 and 17. And it was a way to, gain some personal independence and having the possibility to move. So that's how I started. And also my first job was delivering pizzas.
Oh, so you became an expert and fast.
Yeah. Man, I had to unfold the pizzas when I got there. It's
actually, that'd be tricky. What do you carry them in?
You have a bag, a heat saving bag,
Yeah.
And then you have the top box on the scooter. But if you lean over too much, all the toppings get to one side. And you have to rearrange
you don't want to deliver it all squished up on one side of the box.
So you have to it's a very tricky thing. It's a very, it has the skills of the trade, so you have to be fast, but not too fast. And you would
and you
see
don't want to fall off.
No, exactly. And you would see other delivery people at the red light, and the red light GP is the original.
I was going to say, did that when the racing kicked in, you're like, you're going to beat.
Exactly. So after all of that, I switched to delivering burgers because they weren't so squishy.
Yeah. You can pack them tight and keep them still no matter how hard you ride.
Yeah. The most challenging was actually delivering soup. That was
really?
a big failure. Yeah. It was one of the biggest failures of my early career.
You deliver it and they'd be like, why is the soup so low? Why are we missing so much?
Missing 200 cc's of soup.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So then what about motorbikes? How do you take that step from scooters to motorbikes?
Well, I think it was always an aspiration because the scooter was the first kind of accessible thing that they could do. And then when I was getting older and pushing 18,
totally
I said, man, I want to ride a real motorbike. So I actually, my then boyfriend and now husband, we rode we took the train maybe, I think, from Haifa to Tel Aviv, which is 100 kilometers, something like that. Yep. But it's the major cities in Israel. And I got a really old beat up Suzuki TU 250X. and we rode it back, and the clutch was slipping. There was some smoke coming from like electrical wires under the seat. It was completely beat up, but actually he helped me like rebuild it, and we took it apart and then made a paint job. And yeah, it was like one of the first super nice experiences I had. Yeah.
What a cool memory to have. And obviously it led to many other things. So what happened from there? So did he teach you to ride?
Yeah. Like the first while I took, riding lessons with the license school. I think that's what it's called. You have to you have to do like 20 lessons or something in Israel. So yeah.
They make sure you can ride properly.
Not really. You can just like operate the bike. So first few days was trying to get it moving with the clutch, and the first whole day I couldn't get it to move. It would just stall.
I'm not laughing because I know that I wouldn't be able to do that now.
It took so much time. So then I learned to operate the bike, but they had like really shitty bikes, and in Israel then it still is very expensive there. So you end up riding like 10-year-old tires and stuff like that. So really I didn't learn to properly ride a bike until I got to Italy.
Yeah. So, all right. And again, so there's obviously a big step. Looking at your pictures, this is all day, every day of your life. Yeah. It's about bikes. So was it a very steady progression, or?
I think that gradually I got more and more obsessed, and as I keep finding stuff out and finding out different styles of riding, I get even more drawn in. So it's a never-ending story for me. It just gets like, sometimes I'm more into track riding, and sometimes I find myself like building a cafe racer, and other times I'm all into the touring stuff. So it's
Do you have a favorite? Is there one that you do prefer, or you just switch and change?
I don't know. It's just it comes in
depends
stages. I think you need to have a bike for like each mood,
and
every state of mind.
And you seem to have this really spiritual connection with the bikes, and like I think I saw on some of your posts, you ride when you're happy, you ride when you're sad, you ride. It is such a therapeutic thing for you.
Definitely. I think it's really an outlet for negative, positive, whatever kind of emotions. And of course you see the scenery and you have this connection with the bike, and just all the rush of sensations that you have in every different circumstance is very liberating.
And I guess it brings you into the present, doesn't it? When we're usually worried about other things, you forget about where you are now. Where you're on a bike, you are there on that bike.
Exactly. It's a perfect exercise in being present. In mindfulness, you might say.
Absolutely. I'd never really thought of it that way as such.
Especially at the track. At the track, you just can't concentrate on anything else. It must be 110% on that moment, on these, break zones, whatever it is. It's absolute ultimate in concentration, I think.
Phenomenal. And I suppose then once you finish that, it must feel amazing. So because of all these different types of riding you do, what would you say is the biggest achievement that you've had so far in your riding?
That's
or one of.
I don't know. I don't really see them as maybe, I don't know, achievements. It's hard to call them that way. But I think the biggest achievement in my entire riding life has been not getting drawn into like occasional street races. When
when you're on a scooter delivering food. That was safe and slower.
That's like more than 10 years ago now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You still look that age. You still look 18.
Wow, thank you. I hope to keep looking that way. But,
hey, it's about the mindfulness.
I just turned 29 last week.
Wow. So. No, you do. You look good. You look fresh and young, and you are young.
It's the bike. It's like the tight-fitting helmet.
I love that. I'm gonna walk around in a bike helmet now. So
you should.
I should. People would think I'm strange, but that's okay. I'll be safe.
Nah, that's fine.
So when you talk about this street racing, is that a real Is that quite common there?
It's well, it's not officially common. It's not like you gather and do a race, but you kind of.
Well, like you said, if you see each other at the lights, it's a bit of a
yeah. It's a bit of always trying to prove who's like most skilled and fastest, and I did kind of challenge people.
I was about to say
occasionally.
I can see a sparkle in your eye that tells me that it's not that you've never done this.
Yeah, I have. I'm not super proud of it. There was one occasion when on the way from where I live now towards Florence, there is a super nice road, which is called SP65, the Futa Raticosa Pass.
Yep.
And it's mythological. It's crazy. Sometimes they call it the racetrack of the poor.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's if you go there like on a Saturday, Sunday, you would see people in full race gear, sometimes with slick tires, just ripping it up the mountain.
Just going for a casual ride.
Yeah, casual ride, Italian style. It's not really casual at all. So on one occasion, still when I had the SV650 and I didn't really know what I was doing, I kind of challenged the person, which he was like one of the friends, and I was like, yeah, I'll see you at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would meet there. I had to like overtake him
Did you get there first though?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well done. That's the main thing. And now never do it again.
I'm not super proud of it. Yeah, but I have to say that since I've started riding track more, it has become a really, a thing of the past. And I realized that you don't really know how to ride until you go on track, really.
So that's how many people is that against?
Just one.
Oh, just you. So you don't race?
Against yourself.
I was going to ask you, because I was going to ask, so you're more about competing against yourself than having to try and beat other people?
Yeah, I raced once on a road, like official regulated road racing hill climb competition, but it was also like against the clock. Yep. So you don't race directly against other people, it's super dangerous.
Yep.
And another time it was a drag race, which is also official in Glamsack. I don't know if you know this festival in Germany.
No.
But that's these are like drag races.
Yep.
To race on track in Italy, you have to be really, really, really good. The level here is super high because sometimes you go on track days and you see like MotoGP teams training.
Wow. And do you go and watch?
Yeah. No, I participate. So I do watch races sometimes. Yep. Less now than before.
Yep.
I really enjoy like the atmosphere in the Italian Superbike Championship, which is the CIV. CIV.
Yep.
And it's just such a great atmosphere. You see all these both like veteran racers that do the higher categories, the R1 Cup and stuff like that, these are just amazing people and they have such great attitude. And you see like the kids, which is also so amazing. You see these 15-year-olds on the Moto3 bikes and pre-Moto3 bikes.
Yeah.
And you have the kid pilot and you have the kid mechanic, which is like mechanic in training, and you have the little umbrella girl, which is probably the girlfriend.
Yes.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet. And it's amazing to see all these generations just developing inside this world.
It's a big family. It's a huge family.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. So does your husband, who's into it more, you or him?
I don't know. I think it's like on the same level. Yeah.
Which is amazing to share that together.
Great. Yeah.
So good. All right. So what about off motorbikes? What's your biggest achievement? I've seen that you're ambassador for Horns of Odin and so is that, I quickly had a look before, that's digital artwork, is that right?
They do
they're the
Viking inspired.
Sorry, that's the other thing I was going to ask you about, which is the
I had like a project called Healing Hands, which was with a tattoo artist here in Italy, and we did a charity project in which we collaborated on an artwork, and whoever could show us some kind of proof of donation for the COVID-19 relief, we would send him the PDF file as a reward.
Yep.
But it's all a hobby. All you see in my Instagram is hobby related.
Well, it is, but it's your life. It's all these things that you're involved in. It's important. It is good.
It has nothing to do with my day job.
What is that, by the way?
I'm an industrial designer.
Okay, there you go.
I actually did study car design and automotive design, and I interned for Ducati for 6 months a few years ago, 2016, I think. Yeah, that was a great experience. And since then, I have a really nice and long-lasting relationship with Ducati. So
excellent. So I'm going to jump through my list of questions here. There was a photo that you posted.
Yeah, the Scrambler one.
Yes, tell me that photo, because I don't understand motorbikes, but looking at that photo, I'm so drawn to it. Like the action of it, the bike, the sun. Is it a sunset? Oh, tell me about the photo.
It was almost, by chance that we managed to get it, and usually my husband and I, we have discovered that we really like to create these kinds of photography experiments.
So he took the photo?
Yeah, he takes all the photos on my account.
Wow, they're incredible.
Yeah, he's super talented. Yeah.
So whose bike was it?
It was a press bike from Ducati.
Okay. I don't understand bikes, but that is nice. That is a nice bike.
That is a nice bike. They're so beautiful.
Is it one of the best bikes you've ridden?
I think so, because there are many criteria that you could judge a bike by, but if it gets you like all excited and want to ride it, I think it's a good bike. That's because you can go on and you can like wage war, which bike is best, and Japanese bikes versus European bikes, and if you're excited about it, it's a good bike.
Yeah. So can you tell me a bit more about this day? Because if it's okay with you, I'd love to share this photo with part of the chat when we put it out through the podcast. Sure. Tell me about that day. Like,
actually, it was we just saw like that there was going to be a really nice sunset from our house, and we immediately packed everything up and went up the hill, which is just by our house actually. And there is this turn that catches a really nice light during sunset. Yeah. And we had maybe the wrong photography gear because we had like a f4 lens. I don't know if somebody is listening who is into photography. It's not a super fast lens, so we were worried that there's going to be too much blur because the exposure would be too slow. Yep. But actually it gave a super nice sweeping effect.
Absolutely. So like you can see your hair blowing back and you can almost feel that. Yeah.
It's 1 in 1,000, really.
It is.
But when you do this kind of photography, which is outside and very spontaneous, it's like a gift to have this kind of conditions that let you do that.
Yeah, and I love that it's not like there's a nice sunset, let's go take a photo of the sunset. Let's get on the bike.
Yeah, who cares?
Get a photo of this.
Who cares about the sun?
Oh, that photo. I could see that up on the wall somewhere. It's incredible. So good. Yeah, I'll put that up for people to see. That needs to be out. The world needs to see that.
Thank you. We've got so many positive reactions about this one.
Because all your photos are amazing. He's a fantastic photographer. But yeah, that one really stood out. And my producer actually mentioned it today. He was like, have you seen this? And because he rides, so he's like, and she knows what she's doing because I can see the placement and she's leaning and she's doing this. And I'm like, okay. They were very, very impressed with your riding style.
Thank you. I was getting like, I don't want to, toot my own horn here, but I was getting compliments about my style before I could like even ride fast because actually I concentrated on really developing the technique and the style before I had the chance to make mistakes going faster. So I think it's important, and it's also kind of an important message to any beginner rider to really nail down the technique and the style first. Do it. It should be elegant. Riding shouldn't be like all over the place. It should be elegant and should look good.
Is there someone that you looked up to sort of mimic a little bit, or did you just come up with your own riding style?
I got the basics from my husband, and he rode a long time before I started, so he had a lot to teach me, especially in like avoiding making the same mistakes he did. Sure. which was good.
Yes.
And saved me a lot of pain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I really tried to search the internet, and there wasn't so much of it available even like 5 years ago, and relatively now it's much freer. So I found some stuff that Kevin Schwantz wrote and kind of took inspiration from that. And then I started really observing smaller MotoGP riders. So a big influence was Danny Pedrossa and how he has this way of sort of climbing around the bike, because he's really small.
We spoke about him on one of our podcasts, because I actually asked.
He's shorter than me, so.
Yeah, because I asked a question about him. We have a session on the podcast called the Manuel incident. We come up with a rider, and then he tries to tell us one word about them, and then because he knows them so intimately, and he'll tell us a memory. And I asked about Danny Pedrossa, because from my short experience of watching, I haven't even seen a live race yet. I'm waiting for that to happen, but I've watched, like the faster and fastest, those docos, and
these movies are amazing.
And then just some YouTube clips and stuff. And he looks incredible, but he never ever won a championship, and he fascinates me.
I feel so bad. He's a fascinating rider and so humble as well. It's a really like nice combination, and I think that for shorter people with like short arms, he's a really good example to what you can do with a bike. So you can say, "Nah, I'm short, I can't ride." Or it's just about getting the bike right for you with whatever adjustments you can make, and really take inspiration from people who do it really well, who kind of fit your physical frame.
And get your body into it, like you said. It's that climbing around the bike and just...
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
There are bikes that I actually can't ride well, because if there is like a huge gas tank, I just can't get my elbow over it because I have short arms. So, but you make the best of it. And
do you have? I'm not going to understand the answer to this question, but do you have a dream bike?
A few years ago, maybe I would have had an answer, but really I don't have an answer for it. I think that a dream bike, you should like try to test a lot of bikes and then see what fits you best. So a dream bike would be, I don't know, I could say if I had an opportunity to purchase a bike now, it would probably be the GSXR 1000R, the new one. It just fits me very well with my riding style, and it's all kitted up. So.
Nice, very nice. All good. So, I was about to ask you which bike is your favourite, but I think you've spoken about the bikes you've got, and you seem to have such a...
All of them.
You love all of them.
Exactly.
I know some parents that do say they have a favourite, but...
Not equally, though.
But what about that bike you share between you? You obviously have a very strong connection to that bike.
The SV650.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a family heirloom.
Your first child.
This bike it has the most amazing story. So my husband got this bike when he moved to Italy for the first time in 2000, something like that. And it actually belonged to his ex-girlfriend at the time. So they kind of shared this bike, but he mostly rode it. And then he moved back to Israel, spent like 6 years there, something like that. The bike was covered and closed. And when we got to Italy together this time, I needed a bike. And we knew that that bike would be fitting, good, and kind of cheap also, because we didn't have a lot of money when we first moved here.
And know its history.
So it was really a budget buy. And it was my first big buy, because I rode only 250s until then. And I totally babied it, and
made it yours and made it
and then I upgraded the suspension. So I had like hydraulic valves added to the front fork, and it kind of fitted, shoehorned actually, an old GSXR suspension on the back.
Yep.
Which made it a lot better, but still was kind of, if you really want to ride fast and also safely, you should not do this kind of things. Yeah. It was too high in the back and used to drop into turns. So I ended up selling it, buying the GSXR. And then 3 years later, I traced down the girl that I sold it to, and I bought it back.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And we were reunited at last. Yeah.
Was she looking at you while you went up and you're hugging it? Because I picture this like when I've heard this story about someone with a car actually, and it's like you're meant to be together, and they just come back around.
I think I got like all teary-eyed.
Yes, it's home.
Yeah, but we were super happy to have it back, because we were for a long time thinking of making the GSXR track only, both mine, like my 600 and his 750. So we finally did that. got back the SV and also bought a younger brother to it, which is the VSTROM.
Yeah. So you still ride it often though?
Well, not now.
Not at the moment. Yeah, of course. Sorry, not at the moment.
Yeah.
But in general. So can we just jump back to Horns of Odin? Because I know we went to mention it and I made you all distracted because I went, oh no, your artwork was incredible. Please tell me about Horns of Odin. I had a quick look.
Well, I haven't done any artwork for them, but I'm hope that if they would accept, I would definitely like to do something in the future as part of the collaboration. Mm-hmm. But basically, they've had the initiative and they featured our Healing Hands project on their podcast. So it was kind of a collaboration born out of sharing mutual values and interests. So that was nice.
What do they do? Are these Viking type artifacts that they create?
Yeah, exactly. They make various kinds of engraved drinking horns and cups, which is super nice.
That's so super cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And they make they have a whole line of merchandise and apparel.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to check it out more. Apparel. I'm going to check it out because I think my family history, my father was born in Germany, but when we do our DNA testing, I think we come from the Vikings. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, what's this about?
Oh, actually, I'm wearing one right now.
You've got their t-shirt on. T-shirt. That is beautiful.
Yeah, super nice.
That is really cool. Oh, everyone will have to go check it out.
It really fits well with motorcycle culture.
Absolutely.
Because it's, crazy and tough.
And artistic and tough. And absolutely. It's got that whole feel. So good. So I saw you said on your thing that you're a Viking. Is that your tie-in with them? That
I don't know. I just... it was born like a few years ago, and I just went with it.
Yeah.
And, because I like featuring also sometimes in my posts. I like featuring different stories and some historical stuff when I get the opportunity. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm actually a really big nerd. I confess.
That's okay. I think we all are, but not everyone tells people about it. Besides the computer IT stuff.
I'm proud of it.
Yes, good. And you should be. You absolutely should be. I see you've been working out in your time off. I saw you with the kettlebells in your picture.
Yeah.
Can you guys go out at all, or are you actually stuck at home?
We were super stuck at home for 2 months. And we can actually go a little bit out around the house, but really just staying close to the building itself, which is like pointless for me.
Yep.
I think it's even worse, maybe. And we can go only for essential shopping and stuff like that.
So you can't go for a drive, you can't go for a ride.
No.
You're stuck home.
Only to the supermarket, which is we're currently limited only to the municipality.
Yep.
And
that's not a nice experience going to the supermarket at the moment either, is it? It's quite stressful.
Yeah, you have to queue and you have to gear up and oh man.
Yep.
Like masks and glasses.
Yeah. So it must be hard for you, but you seem like such a free spirit and not being able to get out. I saw one of your pictures too. You're all kitted up in your motorbike riding gear, sitting on the couch.
Yeah, I made some of these,
Trying to go...
Because this was going to be the year of more trek days and the huge, cross Europe touring trip.
Yep.
And I just don't see it happening now. So.
I'm like to think soon enough we'll be out there, and I'd like to think that everyone's going to appreciate being able to do these things a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not I'm probably going to be getting a tent or something and not being indoors for as long as I can.
Just go camp out in the middle of nowhere. Absolutely.
No walls, no windows.
Yep. No, it's been tough. Thank goodness for technology and computers and all that sort of
stuff. Yes, it could have been a lot worse. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But maybe it would have resulted in a boom of novels and books.
I'd hope so.
People writing stuff. So.
Absolutely. And I saw a post on Facebook, I think yesterday, about, and I don't mean any disrespect to anyone that is really struggling. I know a lot of people have lost their jobs and are finding it really hard, but I'm trying to stay on the positive side. I really hope that people are doing puzzles, reading books, writing books, being creative and just doing all those things that I've
seen so many people posting and showing off their excessive alcohol consumption in this time.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
So we had
that's not helpful.
The world had empty toilet paper shelves, and we had empty wine shelves here in Italy. So as I said before we started, I haven't drank I don't know.
Because you couldn't get
anything. No, just, no. It's not so good for the immune system. And it's really not good if you're trying to kind of deal with stress and using alcohol. So that's...
we talk about that, I can have a glass of wine or a drink or two because sometimes it's a relaxing thing to do. But if you're trying to escape from something or you're trying to... Absolutely. And especially in a time like this, I think it's harder for everybody with mental health, and it's absolutely not helpful. But so you ran out, everyone bought all the toilet paper as well?
Yeah, we had it was just like first couple of days, and then people kind of got around to understanding that you won't need it.
We just now have toilet paper back in the shops. I went to the supermarket about a month ago and I nearly cried because as I was leaving, someone had toilet paper and I said, excuse me, where did you get it? And she said, back corner, hurry up. And they'd actually brought out, the truck had brought out a pallet and they had all this staff around it and they were just handing out one packet to each.
That's crazy.
And I actually got a bit emotional. I was like, I'm sure there's water and food and other things are a lot more important than toilet paper. But that's just humans, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was...
So where do you see yourself in sort of 10 years' time?
I got asked this question in a job interview, and I promise I won't ask what your weaknesses are next, because that's one of those questions too. That's okay, but I have no idea, because life has been so crazy. And if you told me 10 years ago, where would you see yourself in 10 years, I could have never imagined all the stuff that happened. And if I knew, I would be like, whatever.
No, I like that, because you obviously live in the moment, you live for today, so you shouldn't be able to go, this is where I'm going to be and I'm going to be there in 10 years.
I have,
wherever it takes you.
Aspirations and and ideas and dreams, but not really a plan, because you can't really plan. Who can plan?
And it never goes to plan.
After what we've seen this year, you can never plan stuff. It's
Absolutely. You're so right. That's so good. So people want to check out some of your stuff, and I hope everyone will go check out your amazing photos from your talented husband. Where can people find your...
I have my website, which is www.thebelalit.com, and I have my Instagram. That's about it. I have started making YouTube videos, but I've been super uninspired to pursue that.
So what are you doing in them? What are you trying to reach by doing the videos?
I've had some stuff which is informative. So how to pick a helmet, how you should pick your bike gear, some ramblings and rants about motorcycles, stuff like that. And the last one was a couple of days before they locked us down, and I did a food run to IKEA because because it was not crowded and they still had salmon. So that was a good one. I miss salmon so much. We can't get it here in the local village supermarket. Not so good.
No. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. I like the idea of those videos. I think that's a fantastic idea, because even, from myself as a uneducated motorbike enthusiast, if I wanted to get into this, I do see all the big high level stuff. We need more people, and if I may say it, women or, girls that go, hey, I want to do this, but how do I start? Where do I even...
So I made a few of those, and I'm thinking to do, since I've got into touring and adventure bikes very recently, I was kind of worried about it, and being not tall as I am. It was a little bit challenging, and I ended up but feeling more comfortable with a lower seat. So I thought to maybe share my experience as a shorter person with adventure bikes, because they can be a little bit, intimidating. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're heavy, they're tall. It's a whole different set of worries and concerns.
Yeah. So you're coming across lots of other females riding and, that you look up to, that look up to you.
But I had a chat recently with a really famous Instagrammer from the United States. Her name is Red Spade. Mm-hmm. And I told her that I totally looked up to her as as a role model, and how she had such great style on track. And I found out that she has been looking at my photos and having the same kind of feelings.
I love that.
So that was really nice to find out. And in general, I have many contacts and connections with other girls on Instagram that have similar experiences to mine, or that are aspiring and find my content inspirational somehow. So that makes me feel great.
Yeah, that's incredible. That is really good. And what I've really noticed through what I've seen and what I've learned is, once you're on a bike, you've got your helmet on. Motorbike riding isn't so much about being big and strong. You can be small and strong. So there's no reason that women can't ride as well as men.
Well, if you get to the extremes when you do need a lot of physical strength, then of course a person with more physical strength will have the advantage, such as extreme motocross or hard enduro. But maybe if you're taller and you have longer legs, you have an advantage there. But really, in just day-to-day riding, it's all about technique and not forcing yourself to do things forcefully. So it's all about managing to control the bike without applying too much force, actually. So no reason why anyone should not be able to do it. That's
absolutely. And what I love about talking to you is you do it because you love it. You're not out there trying to and again, not taking anything away from those people that race and that sort of thing, but you are doing this because you love it. It's purely for you. It's not to impress anybody. It's not to beat anybody. It's just because you love how it feels.
Yeah. It's a special thing. And I have seen some people who, kind of try to do something with motorcycles because it looks cool or whatever, but then, they don't last because it's if you take it seriously, it's a hobby that's, first of all, costs a lot of money. Usually, you can get some budget stuff, but usually it requires sacrifices in time and money.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it has been so good speaking to you. I can feel your passion and just that. I don't know the right words for it. You seem to have such a good balance, and you're doing everything for the right reasons, for your fulfillment and not for anyone else, which is beautiful and refreshing. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today. I do look forward to staying in touch with you and seeing what happens when the world opens back up.
When the world resumes.
These across Europe adventures and everything you've got planned. I know. I really, really am keen to see if it's going to be different, or I hope not everyone jumps back to the, craziness we had before.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope people really take the time and see that life can be also a little bit quieter. And
absolutely. No, we get too busy. So Bella, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be in touch. Thank you.